There was a face in my room. It wasn't there 1 minute, and the next, it just was. I remember the exact moment it appeared. I was lying in bed, scrolling through my phone, the blue light painting my face in the dark. It was late, probably past 2 a.m. That is when my eyes, for no reason at all, flicked up to the corner of the ceiling. And that's when I saw it. Just a face. No body, no neck, just a disembodied head, half hidden in the shadows where the two walls met the ceiling. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the sudden, suffocating silence. I froze, my thumb hovering over the screen. Was I dreaming? Was this some weird trick of the light? A pattern in the plaster my tired brain was twisting into something human? I blinked. Once. Twice. It was still there. The face was pale, almost luminous in the gloom. Its features were indistinct, like a blurred photograph, but I could make out two dark hollows where eyes should be, and a slash of a mouth, slightly agape. I slowly lowered my phone, plunging the room into near-total darkness. The only light now was the faint, cold glow of the moon filtering through my blinds. I thought, hoped, that in the dark, it would be gone, that my mind had just been playing tricks on me. I squeezed my eyes shut, counted to 10, and then forced myself to look again. A sliver of moonlight caught it. The face was still there, hanging in the corner like a grotesque decoration. It hadn't moved. It just watched. I couldn't scream. The sound was trapped in my throat, a solid lump of pure terror. My body was paralyzed, pinned to the mattress by an invisible weight. All I could do was lie there, my eyes locked on the thing in the corner, and listen to the frantic pounding of my own blood in my ears. The room, my safe space, suddenly felt alien and hostile. Every familiar shadow seemed to writhe and twist, tacking on new menacing shapes. The gentle creaks and groans of the old house, sounds I'd heard 1,000 times before, now sounded like footsteps, like whispers, like something getting closer. I don't know how long I lay there, trapped in that silent standoff. Minutes felt like hours. Each second stretched into an eternity. The face in the corner remained perfectly still, a silent, patient observer. But the longer I looked, the more details seemed to emerge from the shadows. The pale skin looked stretched and waxy. The dark eye sockets seemed to deepen, growing mane, and the mouth began to curve. It was a slow, almost imperceptible change, but it was happening. The corners of its lips were pulling upwards into a grotesque, triumphant smile. That's what broke me. The smile. It was the most horrifying thing I had ever seen. It was a smile of pure malice, a smile that knew it had me trapped, a smile that was enjoying my terror. A choked sob escaped my lips, and it was like a dam breaking. I scrambled out of bed, a frantic, clumsy mess of flailing limbs, not even daring to look back. I didn't grab my phone, my keys, nothing. I just ran. I bolted out of my room, slammed the door shut behind me, and didn't stop running until I was out of the house and standing on the cold pavement, gasping for air under the streetlights. I spent the rest of the night at a friend's place, huddled under a blanket on their couch, shaking uncontrollably. I tried to explain what I saw, but the words sounded insane even to my own ears. There was a face in my room. How do you explain that without sounding like you've lost your mind? My friend was kind. They tried to be understanding, but I could see the doubt in their eyes. They offered logical explanations. Sleep paralysis, a nightmare, stress. I wanted to believe them. I really did. The next day, I forced myself to go back. It was broad daylight, the sun streaming through the windows, chasing away all the shadows. The house looked normal, cheerful, even. I walked slowly up the stairs, my heart thudding with a familiar dread. I pushed open my bedroom door. The room was empty. Sunlight filled every corner. I looked up at the ceiling where I had seen it. There was nothing there. Just white plaster, a few cobwebs I needed to clean, and a small, brownish water stain I'd never noticed before. I felt a wave of relief so intense it made me dizzy. It was just a dream, a hallucination. My friend was right. I let out a shaky breath and even managed a small, weak laugh. I felt foolish. I spent the rest of the day trying to act normal, cleaning the house, putting on loud music, doing everything I could to fill the silence and convince myself that everything was fine. And for a while, it worked. As the sun set, though, the anxiety started to creep back in. Every shadow looked a little too deep, every noise a little too loud. Night came. I knew I couldn't sleep on the couch forever. I had to face my room. I turned on every single light, the overhead light, my bedside lamp, even the little reading light clipped to my headboard. My room was bathed in a bright, artificial glare. There were no shadows, no dark corners. I felt a little safer. I got into bed, pulled the covers up to my chin, and decided to just leave the lights on all night. I didn't care about the electricity bill. I just needed to feel safe. I lay there for hours, my eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. I scanned every inch of the room, again and again. Nothing. It was just my room. My posters, my books, my mess of clothes on the chair. Everything was normal. Slowly, exhaustion started to win out over fear. My eyelids grew heavy. Maybe, just maybe, it was all over. I finally drifted off into a restless, shallow sleep. I don't know what woke me. It wasn't a sound, it was a feeling. A feeling of being watched. My eyes snapped open. The lights were still on, blazing brightly. The room was exactly as it was when I fell asleep, but the feeling was overwhelming. I slowly, hesitantly, turned my head. Not towards the corner of the ceiling this time. I turned to look at the other side of my bed. And it was there. The face. It wasn't in the corner anymore. It was right next to me, lying on the pillow beside mine. Its head was just inches from my own. Those dark, empty sockets stared directly into my eyes. The pale, waxy skin seemed to glow under the lamplight, and that smile, that wide, horrific smile, was stretched across its face. It was wider now, impossibly wide, splitting its face nearly in two. It just lay there, smiling at me as if it had been waiting for me to wake up. I didn't run this time. I couldn't. I was completely, utterly paralyzed with a fear so profound it felt like my soul was being ripped from my body. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I could do was stare into those empty, black pits and watch that terrible smile grow wider and wider as a low, guttural sound, like a dry chuckle, began to fill the silence of my room. Since that night, I haven't slept in that room. I haven't slept in that house. I don't think I'll ever be able to sleep in the dark again, because sometimes, when I close my eyes, I can still see it, the face on the pillow next to me. Smiling,